Alrighty, this is assignment 2 for ser432. The purpose of the assignment was basically get to a fully functional ponytail on the character, make sure that the ponytail actually falls along the character when he's moves around physically, and then also not collide with the character when he stops. So here's a quick demo of it. Rest on the character's back, it's not colliding. I move, ponytail moves with me, I jump, ponytail moves with me. Stop, goes around, flings around, doesn't go through my character. So, using Maya, you create a ponytail mesh right here. Maya does actually a lot of the work in defining sockets for the mesh. After that, you create a physics asset. What you have to do actually is in the first joint, make it kinematic, so when it's attached to the character's head, it just doesn't fall through and actually looks like it's physically attached to it instead of just some awkward chain ball object flinging around. So once you do that, what you have to do is go to the actual mesh of the character, go to the skeleton mesh and add a new socket to it. So went to the head, this is actually the wrong one, it is right here. Go to the head, add the ponytail socket, and then if you want to see what it looks like and then move around the socket, I just spawn in the actual ponytail object or mesh to the character, and then you can move it around. It just defines where it's going to be actually when you attach it physically to the blueprint of a character. Because this is just a preview and it actually won't be there when you run the game. So once that's all set and done, you go to your third character blueprint. I'm just using the example template for third person. Go here, and in the viewport, you actually spawn in the mesh you want. I drag it under the mesh to make it inherited. And then from there, what you do is define the socket you want to attach to. It scrolls up real quick. Oh, I'm going to click on that real quick. Right here. So I'll call it ponytail socket, as you saw in the skeletal mesh earlier. And then that's where you attach it. You will have to move it around a little bit in order to actually make it in the right spot, because it will be given some random location values and it'll spawn out in the distance. And then from there you set it to the mesh, which is the ponytail, and then you can drag it in here. So once you got all that, next is the collision. So for the ponytail, I did a custom one and made it so it's looking for a physics body, which is this, the actual character. So when he moves around, it's going to detect if it hits it or not. And for the character, you set it to world dynamic. You can do both ragdoll, but what I figured out when you're doing the preset ragdoll, eventually the actual ponytail will still go through his back after a short amount of time. I don't know why. So eventually I just messed around with some presets and then came up with a custom one in order to make sure that doesn't happen and that it will always rest on the character's back. So next is actually applying physics to the actual hair. You can't simulate it in here when defining it and attaching it to character, because it will actually spawn somewhere random on the map, what I've found. So instead what you have to do is look for the begin play event and then simulate physics to the object. So you get the bow name, which is the ponytail, and then everything below it simulate. So once you do that, it should be all set up. Play the game, boom. You guys simulate the ponytail. Obviously it doesn't look like a ponytail, but the main goal of the object of this project was just to make it so you have the mesh ready. So if you want to actually import a ponytail asset with 8 joints, it'll work. And that's all there is to it.